talk today about supercharging your energy and at the same time supplements that help do that. I think a lot of times, particularly in this time period that we're dealing with challenges with our energy levels, even if we're working from home. So I just want to take the time to thank you guys for having me today and for getting on and really getting to speak to that. And I hope that you guys get some powerful information that you can not only use for yourself, but you can share with your friends. So just getting started. Everyone, I know you guys are working from home in different places. Do me a favor and use the chat box, and down there just type like hello or where you're at currently so they know you're there. I'm going to try to use the chat box a couple times on the Zoom call so that we can really maximize the call. So I'm going to type hello to start. So everyone say hey to me. St. Pete, there you go. I got it. And just let me know where you're at. That would be great. And then at the end, as always, just to keep you guys engaged, honestly, and learn, I'm going to ask one question, and we're going to give a $10 gift card to either Christy or Rich when you guys come in, and you guys can give that out. So stay to the end of the call today, and at the very end, I'm going to ask you a question, $10 gift card, and then you guys can use that at your leisure. It's not a Starbucks. We're just going to go ahead and give you a gift card. I believe this time it's from Target. So if you guys like Target, that famous French department store, feel free to go ahead and at the end answer the question. And then after that question, the first one to put it in the chat box, hey, St. Pete, Clearwater, Maryland. All right. Oh, that's Dr. Lauren. But anyway, first person to put the answer in the chat box at the end of the call today wins the $10 Target gift card. So I hope you guys are doing well today. When we're talking about increasing and boosting energy, just a couple key concepts I want to review from all the calls that we've done in the past, or all the workshops I've done inside the office there for you guys. So the first thing is, your energy levels are directly related to the fuel that you're giving your body. So if you have been through the Nutrition 101 class I did at the location at Ceridian, or if you're familiar with me doing it recently, there's a couple key concepts you have to be aware of. Number one, the majority of your diet needs to come from green leafy vegetables. So just in review, 60 to 80% of the food that you're eating should be from vegetables, not carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, I know that you get a lot of people talking about carbohydrates and their usage, and I'm obviously a fan of carbohydrates, and I use that in food timing. I just did an event last week with MA Fitness in St. Pete where we talked about usage of carbohydrates and working out. But although carbohydrates are used for energy, the way we use them in what I like to call the standard American diet, if you've seen me say that before, SAD, just SAD, causes unstable energy, because every time you eat a simple or a complex carbohydrate, what happens is your body has to release insulin at the same rate. So you're eating a carbohydrate, the sugar's getting into your bloodstream, your body's breaking it down, turning it into glucose, and then you have to release insulin in a greater amount to break the sugar down. And when you do that, the high level of insulin causes the sugar and energy level to crash through the roof, and then you're looking for more and more and more sugar for energy, and that's how it becomes addictive. One of the talks I've done, I don't know that I've done it for your group, but one of my talks that everyone loves inside the office is adrenal fatigue. And in adrenal fatigue, we talk about the constant demands from the standard American diet, burning out the adrenal glands, raising your cortisol levels, dropping your energy through the toilet, just really creating that. So how do we shift that? Well, the first thing we do is we move from a diet that's mostly carbohydrates. What do I mean? We get up in the morning and we eat a bagel. And with that bagel, we eat coffee with lots of cream and sugar. Not the coffee, the cream and sugar in the bagel. Those are carbohydrates. They're going to create that boost in sugar in your bloodstream and that insulin spike, which is just going to crash your energy. You get a little bit of a kick, but soon after, your energy again drops to the floor. And then at lunchtime, I've done this with you guys before. You're hungry, you don't know what to eat. Nowadays, you're probably not doing it, but back in the day when I worked in a hospital, we would go out and get the all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. Maybe at home, you're eating pasta and potatoes. You're getting a leftover pizza from last night out of the fridge because it's convenient for lunch. And you eat that, again, loaded with carbohydrates. Your sugar levels go way up in your bloodstream, which gives you kind of an instant rush. And then your insulin levels go up too, and then you crash through the roof. And then you get tired. So what do? Most people, well, we just drink more coffee. I have my cup of caffeine sitting right here because I drink coffee too. I told you guys it's one of my only addictions. So you got the coffee to bring your levels up. But in that coffee, it's not black like mine. It's got cream and sugar in it. And the sugar causes the same dynamic. So the caffeine geeks you up for a little bit of time. You're not drinking enough water, and then you repeat the cycle and you go, I don't know, get a candy bar, or even the bars that are like Lucerna, which supposedly have low glycemic index. Those things are just full of other preservatives, and they also have artificial sugars, so they're creating energy problems. And when you really look at the diet that most people eat, it just creates unstable energy all day long. You're up, you're down, you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down. The problem with that is it puts a heavy demand on your pancreas. The last study I read said that the average American eats their own body weight in sugar plus another 25 pounds in syrups or sweeteners on a daily basis. And if you just keep doing that, you burn your pancreas out, you get diabetic challenges, it's a mess. So in order to stop that and create stable energy during the day, the first thing we need to do is be aware that we have to shift our nutrition. I don't call it diet. Diet equals deprivation. Everyone's worried about depriving themselves. Your nutrition needs to change. So the majority of your food should come from green leafy vegetables. And then 20% or so let's say you're doing 60 to 70% on a good day of vegetables, which is still difficult. We can talk about that. Then you're going to add maybe 20% protein. So 70, 9, that's 90 there. 90%, 20% protein. What do I mean by protein? Fish, chicken, grass-fed beef, pork. At this stage, I don't really care. We can talk more dynamically about what to do there. And then the rest, which would be maybe 10%, should be coming from complex carbohydrates, not simple. What do I mean? Brown rice, basmati rice, not white rice. Sweet potatoes, not white potatoes. You're looking at whole wheat or maybe a vegetable-based pasta versus, flour-based. And why? Complex carbohydrates, and this is important for this call, they take a different approach to breaking down. They have a lower glycemic index. Glycemic index, if you guys have heard that on advertisements for weight loss programs, is the rate at which when you eat something, it gets converted into sugar. If you have any questions along the way, I've got some coming in. You can ask in the Zoom, in the chat box, and then I'll respond to those as well. And I'll try to get with you as we go through and answer it as we go. But what you need to understand about simple carbohydrates like, white potatoes, French fries, pastas, candy bars, white sugar, refined carbohydrates, chips, all those things, is they have a very high glycemic index, which means as quick as you can eat them, they're turning into sugar, creating that insulin spike, and then your energy levels getting zapped just as quick as it picks up. Complex carbohydrates, sweet potatoes, brown rice, real brown rice, not boil in a bag in a microwave in 10-minute brown rice, real brown rice, wild rice. I say rice because it's my favorite carbohydrate just because I like the way it tastes. The whole wheat pastas, the Ezekiel bread, it has a lower glycemic index, which means it doesn't create that sharp insulin spike, so it doesn't crash your energy. So that's going to make up maybe 10% of your diet. So 60 to 80 green leafy vegetables, then 20% protein, then maybe 10%. And I have a whole formulaic way of calculating that. If you're that nerdy like me, you want to get into that, but that's not for this call. So that's the first thing. Mostly vegetables would create that stable energy. Now, why do I start with that? Because we talked before about us just, doing a call on supplementation. Supplementation in your diet is just that. It's trying to supplement your diet. It is not a replacement for eating good nutrition. Now, supplements are necessary nowadays because between crop rotation challenges, between industrialized farming, you'll see if you look this up on the Google, that the food nutrients we have is much less per ounce than it was before, because the crops, if they're growing, if you don't know this, need the soil to have the minerals to have the proper nutrients in there. And because of crop rotation, industrial farming, and pesticides, everything else, the food doesn't have as much nutrition in it, so supplementation is necessary. But without changing the diet first, the supplements just kind of fall on bad ears, or they don't work maximally effectiveness. So let me explain why that is. That's because the standard American diet, which we've talked about before, carbohydrate high and processed food high, steals nutrients out of your system just to break down the food. For example, I think I did a talk inside the office one time on acid-base balance, that when you eat the standard American diet, you eat a lot of processed foods, a lot of foods that are made in a laboratory instead of grown on the planet. Those foods create an acidic medium in your body. In other words, you may have heard this, look it up, alkaline and energized. The more alkaline your system is, the more energy you create and the less disease process you have. And that's medical studies across the board. The standard American diet, which is full of processed foods and everything else, creates an acidic medium in your body. And in order to neutralize the acidic medium, your body uses calcium. And the largest storage of calcium in the human body is in your bones. And so literally all the processed foods leach out calcium out of your bones. And that is the reason people suffer from osteoporosis at alarming rates. I have a whole talk on osteoporosis. That's not this. What I'm trying to say in this call is that when you eat processed foods in a bag, foods in the middle of the grocery store, basically your body has to use essential nutrients to break the food down instead of using those nutrients to create healthy cells and tissue and energy. So the reason we have to supplement is because of the fact that the standard American diet is robbing you of these nutrients. And so that's important to get when we discuss this, because before we start popping a lot of supplements and trying to overcompensate, we should first clean up the nutrition on its own. And I hope that makes sense. If not, hit me a question. So you got to cut out the processed foods. You got to stop eating junk food. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect all the time. I'm saying that 6 days a week, I am on point because I practice what I preach. And I believe that the people who stand up and teach, just like in your profession, I'm sure you'll agree with me, if you're an expert in a field, you need to have integrity, which means doing what you say you're going to do when no one is watching. So 6 days a week, I eat super clean. I practice what I preach. I teach it on a daily basis in my office. And then 1 day a week, Sunday, I normally have a cheat day. Now, my cheat day has really become a cheat meal because I don't like the way that bad food makes me feel. But for you guys, just getting started is the important point. So just get started and get rolling, but cut the processed foods out of your diet. Start eating clean foods, 60 to 80% green leafy vegetables, 20% to 25% protein, maybe 10% complex carbohydrates, drinking tons of water, 3 liters of water a day, keep the doctor away. I got my water bottle handy right here. You see it's got stickers on it that I let my kids pick. Drinking water all day long, keeping your body flushed, keeping the nutrients going, keeping the toxins out, minimizing the caffeine. I already showed you I have my coffee over here, so we want to minimize caffeine, even though I'm drinking one now. But you understand that, right? So that's first. That has to happen. Otherwise, you're just wasting your money on supplements. Now, as far as supplements that create energy, a couple key ones we want to talk about. Numero uno, the first one, B vitamins. B like boy. Now, you'll see that when people have low energy, they go to a physician, and that physician will prescribe, B vitamin shots, because B vitamins are low in blood tests because the processed foods in the standard American diet, those processed foods need B vitamins to break down. So instead of your body using B vitamins in what we call the Krebs cycle, they're cofactors to create energy, to keep you going and keep you moving and keep you rocking and rolling for your family, the B vitamins get robbed out of your system and they're used to break down crappy food that we're eating. So cut the crappy food out. You won't need as many B vitamins. But the reason they're giving B vitamin shots is because people refuse to change their diet. They don't do it. They continue to do the same thing. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So if you want to live a life that few people get to live and have energy that few people get to have, you got to do what no one else is willing to do. So change your diet. But B complex vitamins, I take them and I eat a clean diet because it's really hard to keep up with all the problems with the diet and all the supplements and all the genetic modifications. So typically you want to take a B complex vitamin, not just B12. B12 is the quickest one to create energy, which is why they use it in B12 shots. You want a B complex, which is going to have 3, 6, 9, 12. It's going to have all the complex vitamins, which is going to really allow your body and your system to produce energy effectively. I take B vitamins on a daily basis. You can follow recommended, manufacturer recommends. Just make sure those B vitamins come from a natural source. Don't take B vitamins that are coming from, Sam's because you get them on the cheap. Get good complex B complex vitamins from either like a doctor. I sell them at my office. Or you go get them at a health food store where you can look at the back of them and make sure they're coming from a natural source. There is a difference, just like in the food supply, if it's processed versus natural. So you want a natural source. So B complex vitamins. Second thing we want to talk about supplementation wise is omega fats. Now, if you've been to my 101 class, we talk about all these dietary changes, but we also talk about taking 3,000 units of omega-3 and 6 fatty acids on a daily basis. You guys will know this as fish oil, flaxseed oil, extra virgin olive oil. I'd much rather you ate them in your food. You ate them from natural fish sources. You got them from a good source. But if you're not doing that, you need to be supplementing them in your diet. You'll see them as essential fatty acids, EFAs, but you need to be taking 3,000 units of those a day. I don't use the term milligrams because fish oil is measured. I like that, 80% vegetables. Good kick there, Teresa. Good. Fish oil, right? Are you with me so far? Is measured in units, just like vitamin E or tocopherol. It's not measured in milligrams. So they might do it on the bottle because they're just trying to make it simple. But when you read a good source, it'll say units. 3,000 a day is what you want. It continues to create stable energy. It gives your body good, healthy fat, which is responsible for hormone production. We have so many people now that are on hormone replacement therapy because the diets rob the nutrients. Their adrenal glands are shot. They're tired. So they're on thyroid meds. So it helps your hormone production naturally. And it should be in food. So none of the stuff I'm talking about is anything crazy. It's not going to negatively affect things. The only thing fish oil does is fish oil is a natural anticoagulant. So if you're on a blood thinner, for example, and you start taking fish oil consistently, just have a conversation with your doctor about the fact that you're taking the fish oil. And normally what they'll do is they'll kind of lower the dose of the blood thinner you're taking because you won't need it because the natural fish oil is doing that job for you. And that's a win-win, right? The less things you have to take, the better. So you're talking about B complex vitamins, right? We talked about that. 3,000 units of fish oil a day. And then the other supplement that I would highly recommend people start looking into is turmeric. Turmeric is a spice. It's been shown in studies to stop the proliferation, or what they mean, growth of cancer cells. So if you're taking turmeric on a daily basis, it's just a spice. You can get it, teaspoon a day. You can buy it as a supplement. You can take it every day like I do in a supplement. I should have grabbed one out of the fridge to show you. It actually stops the proliferation of cancer cell growth. They've done that in research. Turmeric is a spice. The active ingredient, that's the active ingredient. The spice, is curcumin. So curcumin is the spice. The active ingredient is turmeric. You can buy it in supplements, but it's a natural anti-inflammatory. It helps you if you have joint and achy pains. It stops cancer cell production, stops the growth of the tumor cells. It's amazing. Should take it every day. Dosage form, teaspoon if you're going to use curcumin, just mix it in water. Tastes kind of spicy. No, it's not the same as black seed oil, but black seed oil is good too. That's another natural anti-inflammatory. That's a great question. Thank you for throwing that out there. But turmeric is the other one. I try to keep the supplements like kind of low if you haven't figured it out. I'm not a big fan of taking a ton of supplements. I do take them because I'm supplementing my diet, but I would much rather you change your diet and ate food that you needed and got your nutrients there. Hopefully, if that says great to everyone else, just say amen in the chat box, because who wants to take a bunch of pills if you can just change your diet, right? I mean, that's really the key there. So we talked about the B vitamins. Thanks, Rich. You talked about the B vitamins. We talked about omega fats. We talked about curcumin or turmeric. And then the last supplement that I'll mention here that I think is kind of underutilized is the supplements that aid digestion. So there's a lot of digestive enzymes out there, and you can buy them in a pill form: amylase, lipase, and protease. They break down fats, proteins. A lot of people, because of the standard American diet and not drinking enough water, they have a lot of digestive issues. And then when they eat, they get bloated, they feel tired, they feel fatigued. And there's a lot of great digestive enzymes out there by companies that if you take them with your nutrients, will help them break them down. And that's really not the energy side, but it's more the bloating side. A lot of people eat food and they just can't break it down because their system isn't ready for it. So amylase, lipase, and protease, normally sold under the digestive enzyme label. if you take that with your food or before your food, help your breakdown and digestion. The idea there is to slowly not have to take that, but to start taking it until you can clean your diet up all the way, and then you don't have to take the digestive enzymes anymore. So, but the main ones here are going to be the fish oil, the B complex vitamins, and the curcumin or the turmeric. If you guys start supplementing those, it'll be magic in your system. You'll see your energy increase. But always remember, you want to start having stable energy by eating food that creates that stable energy, 60 to 80% green leafy vegetables, to go ahead and cut the artificial colors, flavors, and sugar out of your diet, and also make sure you're drinking enough water during the day. And those things will help create that energy that everyone is looking for. So I hope you guys got a lot out of the Zoom. I'm trying to make it efficient and short. I think last time I went a little long, but remember, changing the nutrition is key. And as always, if you're sitting in front of this computer, I've posted it before. We'll post it again. If there's anything I can do at Hood Chiropractic, I'm happy to help you. Being on the computer, being forward, those things will create postural challenges, will create headaches and neck pain and numbness in your fingers. And I'm an expert at fixing those things if you need it. If you haven't heard that, you can look us up, and we can kind of take it from there. Hood Chiropractic, I've got some specials running right now. And then the last one, here's your question for today. If you're ready for it, your question for today is, the vitamins that I listed, which vitamin is the one you should take so you can avoid getting the shot at the doctor? First one to put it in the chat box wins the $10 gift card. B, man, they cranked in so fast. Looks like someone hit the wrong one. I got Nichelle Lewis. That's the first one I see. So Nichelle Lewis, that's it. I'm going to give the card to Rich when he comes in, or to Christy when I see her. Hope you guys enjoyed the call. Hope you guys got a lot out of it. And I'm scheduled to do another call with you guys next month. We'll hop on then. It's been a pleasure and a privilege. And as always, hope you guys got a lot. Thank you so much, too. Hope you learned a lot. Be complex. There you go, Tony. God bless you guys. And have a great day.